Quiz 3 requires that you recognize 3 different functionalities when testing the web page. You have to catch that there are required field validators on the text box and both radio button list. You must recognize the auto postback that occurs when the user selects a snack, specifically when they select none. You must recognize the $1 discount that is applied if the user selects both a beverage and a snack. And you must also recognize that the output label is different based on whether or not the user selects a snack. The first thing that we're going to do would be to add the validators, which I've already added, cut down on time. There's 3 required field validators. You have to make sure that you change the ID property, the control to validate, so that it validates the appropriate item. Change the display to dynamic. Create an error message. Change the forecolor to red. And set focus on error to true. And make the text an asterisk. The other 3 required field validators will have the same properties, only different IDs, error messages, and control to validate. So the first thing we'll do is set up the auto postback method so that this label pops up when the user selects none, and it disappears when they change it to muffin and or donut. So we will open up the arrow menu here, and we will check Enable Auto Postback. Now, to create the method for that, we double-click on the radio button list. Notice that I've already put in page-level comments and method-level comments for each of the methods we will create. So, if the user selects none, we want that label to show up and we want it to read a message. We need to make that label visible. And then we want to finish up this method by creating an else statement that would say if anything other than selected index 2 is selected, we will just hide the label. And that's all we need to do for that method. So we'll save it. We'll go back to the design side. And we'll now create the method for the submit button, which will create our output label and also do our cleanup. And before I forget, we need to make sure that we set focus on the initial text box that the user sees. Now we'll declare 2 variables. One variable will be a decimal that we use to calculate the total. And the next variable will be to hold the value of the discount that we will apply if certain conditions are met. We'll create the first line of our output label, since that's going to be the same regardless of the user's selections. The next line of the label requires us to list the items purchased. So it will be different if they choose a snack. If they choose a snack, it will show up in the label. If they don't choose a snack, nothing will show up in the label. I made a mistake here. It should be RBLBev.selected item, which pulls the item name from the radio button list. So same thing here, RBL snack selected item. We'll pull that name from that radio button list. And don't forget your page breaks in here, since we are accumulating that label. And I forgot to put that here, so I'll go back and do that. And then also, if the user selects none, or if the user does not select, if the user selects a snack item, we want to give them the discount. And then we'll add an else to that statement. So notice what I did here was I said if RBL snack.selected index is not equal to 2, meaning if the user selects anything but none, then create the label and say your beverage and snack will be ready in 15 minutes. You saved $1. And you also need to add the discount into the total. Otherwise, you want the label to say your beverage will be ready in 15 minutes. And they do not get the discount in that situation, so we need to do nothing there. We'll create the last line of our label that tells us what our order total is. And don't forget to format it to string C2, which is currency with 2 decimal places. We'll make that label visible as well. And then we'll do our cleanup. And we want to make sure that that label, LBL confirm, is hidden as well. Just in case the user select none, that has to disappear when we clean up. And that is the solution to quiz 2. I'll scroll back through this so that you guys can pause this if you want to read through it.